Alright. Welcome back to Nick Lenz's Comic Corner, Classic. This episode 2718, Doubleshot number 2612. Turns out a bit of time because people hoping my stream have not come on yet, so yeah, I've heard nothing. I've been in the area basically if you come in from my stream. I've been here for quite a while, and like there's been nobody coming in, so I figured I'll just go ahead and get this done. So here we go. First up we have is they replaced him for the really good Joker by James Sinister with The Joker, the Man Who Stopped Laughing, Volume 1 by Matthew Rosberg, collecting the first 6 out of 12 issues for the series. Yeah, this was launched as a replacement for the really good Joker by James Sinister. That book was fantastic. 17 issues in a row, not a bad issue, the whole book. Mostly put, this book is a split book per se. It has a backup story in it. Now, issue 5 is controversial, I'll get to that. And Matthew Rosberg writes the opening story and the backup story, but the backup story's artwork is of a different artist here. Now, yes, Matthew Rosberg and Ryan Candy are writers. The main artist for the main stories is Carmine DeMacchito, who actually was the artist for Flash, which is kind of weird, but it's fine. Fritz Fakovala, good artist. I love his art for the backup stories. One is kind of weird, we'll get to that. And Will Robinson also in the artwork as well. The cover artwork, that is Lee Bajema who does it. Great artist. Never met Lee Bajema before. So mostly put, the whole thing is Joker's come back into town, trying to reestablish basically his dominance after he's been away for a while. Probably the previous series. I highly doubt it's to do with Joker War. That has nothing to do with this here. My guess is this is basically the next thing he has to do right after the conclusion of his really popular ongoing series. So, yeah, Joker has some thugs. And there's also this thing in the first 6 issues here where there's this other Joker. There's a guy who's also claiming the Joker, and he is just an imposter. So, when Joker comes in with a new crew, he's confronted by... Now, these 3 individuals, you're like, okay, 2 of them kind of make sense, but the third one, it doesn't make any sense the fact he's got territory in Gotham. You have Black Mask, Two-Face, and the Riddler. You're thinking, what? Yeah, Riddler. Not Penguin? Riddler. Yeah, it's weird he's got henchmen now. I get Two-Face and Black Mask, but Riddler? Seriously? But thinking, what about the 2 female henchmen? Those were 2 women, basically, not a group of guys who dressed up like the Riddler. Yeah. So, there's a brief scuffle. And there's a guy killed in the chair. Yeah, and the guy gets up, and it turns out that, yeah, this is kind of weird. The guy wearing the purple suit for Joker, the traditional Joker, according to the guy in the hood who turns out to be Joker as well, Harley Quinn's kind of in the story, but she does not play a role. We'll get back to her. So it turns out that the person under the mask, under this burlap sack got shot in the head, is the real Joker. Yes. They revealed this at the end of issue 1. Well, it's also Joker as well. They revealed this, yeah. So, Red Hood's in the story. Yes, Red Hood is here, because of course he is. And mostly put, it's Joker hangs in LA a lot of the time, who also ends up going back to Gotham. He runs he does the Red Hood here. And I'm thinking, how the heck is Joker alive with a bullet in his skull? Yeah, and also for some reason, Harley Quinn is wearing a sweater with the Superman S on it. Now, why the heck is she wearing this? Good question. Also, Joker's outfit's green now. Like he's the Riddler. Because that's the thing when it comes in between Riddler and the Joker. Joker's iconic color is purple. Riddler, it's green. Why the heck is Joker wearing green? I have no idea why. So, He ends at one point going to the Hall of Doom. Yes. Not sure the placement of this. This could be during the Justice League by Scott Snyder, where this lineup scene here is, get this, Captain Cold, Gorilla Grodd, though he's drawn differently than usually drawn, Lex Luthor, Black Manta, Vandal Savage, the Cheetah, and Sinestro. Now you think, look at this lineup like, ooh, that's actually a pretty good lineup. Except look at it, you have 2 Flash villains, a Superman villain, 1 Wonder Woman villain, Aquaman, Green Lantern, and Vandal Savage, who has been portrayed for the last 20-30 years as a Justice League villain, despite the fact he's actually an Alan Scott / JSA villain. Yes, writers at DC Comics forget the fact that he debuted in Green Lantern. Well, he was an enemy of the Alan Scott Green Lantern. He is one of 2 writers DC Comics completely forget about this factoid. The other actually appears in the story, believe it or not. Oh yeah, Punchline is here. Yes, Punchline is here, making a guest star appearance, because why not? So, yeah, Joker is back in Gotham, and of course dealing with the guy who's, posing as him. And apparently the real Joker has got more than 1 bullet hole in him. He's been shot in the head. Looks like he's been shot about 4 times his chest. 1 time his chest, 3 in his belly, and 1 in his leg. He's shot multiple times. Looks like he's stitched up, goes across town. And by the end of issue 6, the Imposter Joker is killed off. As for why the heck he posed as Joker, Joker never finds out. He kills him for a chance to answer the question. Also, Joker at one point is bald because he went surgery, so shave off that green hair he has. But don't worry, he gets it back. Yeah. So, and then we cut to the Mad Hatter using an empty house. And then it looks like Batman is broken in the window. But it's not Batman, it's the Joker dressed as Batman. You're probably thinking, has Joker done this before where he dressed up as Batman in comics prior to this? No, he never did. Joker never did this that I could think of. Like wearing a makeshift Batman costume. Actually, wait, he has. Once. I believe it was during, I think it was Endgame, I think it was. That, or I think it was Joker War. I think Joker was the first time he ever did this. That I can think of. But prior to Joker War, I think the last time he ever did this was an episode of Batman Brave and the Bold, where he tried to make Batman into himself and him being Batman. Oh yeah, he beats up Mad Hatter. He's like, let me get my hat. Oh, by the way, this place Mad Hatter is using, yeah, Joker reveals is actually one of his safe houses. I'm like, that's not surprising. Just like Batman, he's got his own safe houses. There's stuff in Chinatown with Jason Todd. They go to Southside, and we have the confrontation between the real Joker and the imposter Joker. And then we see Jason Todd having coffee with Stephanie Brown. What? Yeah, I find this kind of weird. It's a very brief scene. Don't worry, she's in the book. Yeah, and then of course the imposter Joker dies. And then Joker goes to Malibu for some reason. He's told go back to Gotham. He's like, nah. He go back. He hangs out there for a bit, and then he hangs out in L.A. for the last issue that's seen here. Well, the main story, anyways. Yeah. And then we see finally Batman here, and the way he's written here, I'm like, is this really Batman? It's like, this is not Batman. For one thing, the suit is wrong. Yeah, he is not wearing this outfit. This kind of looks like Arkham Asylum Batman. This is an imposter Batman. For one thing, He does not charge people for photo of him. This is just some imposter posing as him for an issue. Yeah. And then the issue ends with, get this, him being him whacking the head with a baton and then being shocked by the Kate Spencer Manhunter. You're thinking, what the heck is she doing here? Good question. That was answer to volume 2. And then we have the backup stories. Yes, like in the case of the All-Star Western, they put all of, like this is something common with All-Star Western, all John Hex first, then all the backup features. Otherwise, I've seen they put the feature and the main story and the backup story the same thing, move on. This, they basically put all the first half, all as one, backup story afterwards, so. By the way, I love the font here for Joker, for this story, where it's like old 70s logo from his short-lived comic from the 70s. Where here he's talking to Power Girl, where he wants to basically ask her to dinner. And yeah, and also in the story, he's just another one here. We see his gorilla here with Joker's former assistant, and then he runs into Mirror Master. Yeah, and they whack Mirror Master, and then he hangs out some long one. That's the first one. Second one is basically, it's like Jokers die many times their deaths, where we see Joker be hit by a Batmobile. Looks like one from the 40s, but that's not the one from the 40s. This last time we got rolled over was by Abe Lincoln's time train in Time Travel 27. Yeah, I'm like, what the heck? And he comes home, and then we see Two-Face and Catwoman seeing Joker commit suicide in his home. They have ping of a eulogy. We also see Bane. Oh, Joker's actually alive. Mr. Freeze, Clayface, Man-Bat, Riddler, the Gorilla, Catwoman, who, by the way, she's drawn in the MPO costume. Yeah, not the current costume she's wearing right now. It's the original costume. Poison Ivy. Yeah, but he's like alive and he gets beaten up for it. And that's issue 2. 3 starts out with him like, well, he's getting beaten up by the beautiful Big Barda, the smoking hot wife of Mr. Miracle, and who in the Tom King Mr. Miracle book, she is in fact the mother of his only child. Yep, which no one brings up in their books, the fact that she's a mom now. Yes, and some people also claimed the whole sequence of the limited series was a dream. But it was a good book. I liked it. So, that's a big Barda being here. And then we see Professor Pig. Those of you not familiar with this dude, this is an insane guy who's a cannibal, who is a creation of Grant Morrison. Yep. Which, when they brought him on Brave and the Bold, on the Beware Batman TV show, they made him into an environmental terrorist and Mr. Toad being an assistant. Despite the fact that the counterpart to Mr. Toad, he got killed off in this second appearance, and involving dominoes. Yes. Then we have issue 4's backup story. I think it's issue 4. Yeah. Oh boy. Then we see him make a friend to buy Satana. He gets defeated by her, Mud. And then this, oh my gosh. Oh boy. This story. Oh my gosh. This is the story that probably got Matthew Rosenberg a lot of flack online for this. This story is so bad. Okay, we see him in his house. Yes, the backup story has Joker as a house. His sheets are basically like Wonder Woman swimsuit, and he gets up. He turns around. And then he discovers he's pregnant. Yeah, I know Rosenberg himself probably got a lot of flack for this. They're like, what? Pregnant? And then, of course, then we have Dr. Phosphorus here? The guy with radiation? Yeah, and then, of course, go out basically, between his legs. So, what? So then Joker ends up vomiting the baby. And this is kind of the way his son, who's molded to be like Joker, And then he confronts Zatanna over it. The fact that apparently, like, they have a son together, and she's like, what? Yes. This story is bad. I like the artwork for the story. I'm not going to blame Francis Ford Coppola for this. He probably was told to draw this. But my gosh, Matthew Rosenberg, what the heck were you thinking with this story? This story was bad. Yeah, then we have next one from issue number 5, where Giganta is stomping on the Joker. You're a sick man. And he's like, and you're a large, beautiful woman. No denying that. Though for some reason she's drawn in her Bronze Age look with the whole cave woman look. And then he goes to ritual, and then he summons Etrigan the Demon. That's interesting. Jessica giant size, and then we have Silverware's face. We have low chokers. What? Yeah, then the next backup story is... Oh, Francis Ford Coppola doesn't do this one. This is Will Robinson's ranking this one. Where it's like... This is way back in Real Estate Ramson number 6, like... So Joe comes home and sees his family, I think. I like the artwork of this one, but... And then we see Man-Baby uses transportation... Like, Manning Joker? What? Yeah. Like, I'd say the first 3 actually pretty good, but my gosh, the stories get so bizarre after that opening, after that first 3 issues. Like, I like the main story. The main story is great. But the backup features. Matthew Rosenberg, what the heck were you thinking with these stories? Yeah, like I said, the first 3 stories are good. I did not like the 4th one. I think the 4th one is bad. Oh my god, this thing is horrible. Pregnant Joker. Now, I don't know if these considered non-canon. I would think that any of the other ones are non-canon. This one should definitely not be canon. Because it's so bad. So, next up we have is a mini crossover from X-Men from last year. We have Sins of Sinister. Which, of course, they took 2 ongoing series and put brief on hiatus. So, Sins of Sinister. This whole crossover is comprised of the Sinister one-shot Nightcrawlers, which I believe is 3 issues. There is Storm and Brotherhood of Mutants. This is also 3 issues as well. There is Immoral X-Men. And Sinister Domination. Now, Storm Brother Mutants, this actually was the replacement for X-Men Red. In more X-Men, obviously this is a replacement for Mortal X-Men. Nightcrawlers, this one, maybe Legionnaires, because that was the book that he was working on at the time. So, Kieran Gillian only writes the Sinister one-shot in more X-Men, and he does the final one-shot. Nightcrawler Society Superior. Al Ewing does Storm Mutants. Paca Medina does the artwork for Nightcrawlers issue 1. He also does Immortal X-Men number 1. Immortal X-Men. And he also does Sinister 1, the artist for that one. Sinister's got these artists: Lucas Reddick, Jeffrey Shaw, Marco Chico, Juan Jose Ripi, David Bowen, Sheriff Freeman, awesome artists. Carlos Gomez, David Lopez, Joshua Casera, Stefano Caselli, and Federico Vaniti. Andrea DeVille does Storm Mutants issue 2. Paquinea does definitely issue 1 more X-Men. And some mutants. Issue 2 is Angevio. Alessandro Vitti does more X number 2. Nightcrawlers issue 3 is Lorenzo, Thomas, and Papa Stevie. Isophy does issue 3 of Storm Mutants. And Storm and Domination is Pakamina and Lucas Varnick. The cover is mostly done by, for pretty much all the issues, is Land Francis U with these artists. Jesus Operative, who does the first one-shot and the conclusion one-shot. Sunny Go does Nightcrawlers 1 and 2. Jay also does the Immortal X number 3. Nightcrawlers, yeah, it's time to go. Matt Matina does basically Storm and the Brother Mutants. Sonny Goo apparently also has a co-artwork with more X-Men. And that's pretty much it. So, Sinister. So, this is basically what if Sinister took over Krakoa and basically started taking over the world over the course of like 1,000 years. And now I thought with issue 12 of Immortal X-Men, I thought 12 was the final issue because it led to this. And then after this crossover wrapped up, we had more X-Men come back for about 6 issues. Then it ended to be replaced with Immortal Resurrection of with the Resurrection Magneto. Yeah, so yeah, it's a very interesting story. It does have some consequences afterwards. By the way, people are affected are Xavier, Hope Summers, Emma Frost, and Exodus for some reason. And there's also, by the end, they undo this whole storyline thanks to time traveling. Doctor Doom and Spider-Man is kind of in this. We do tease Nightcrawler becoming Spider-Man in the story, which that comes to play in the Fall of X-Men, though with different costume mostly. But a very interesting crossover. I don't think it was bad. The story is like in the future where Storm dies and Destiny is basically still alive, though an old lady. Mystique is still smoking hot, even though she's basically much older now. But damn good stuff here. The book ends with Emma Frost, Charles Xavier, Hope Summers X be put into Krakoa